Word on the street. FisMaz Show. What's the word on the street? Like who got the beats that be killing the game? Who's up on the scale? Who playing who? What's the score on the sheet? Fiso the Prince got him taking the seat. Got the legends giving us the 411. Fiso Maz from the 031. No hating sports and entertainment when we got it all and we're the only ones. And after all that action, never have a dripping high fashion. Drippy on some rich amnesty, stylish and soak up with passion. If it's giving us less, then we never settle. Make sure you pull up and bring all your medals. Sit back and relax, let's go. It's FisMaz bringing you the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show. It's the FisMaz Show.
Yo, what up? This is the one, the only DJ Naves. Hope you're keeping up and keeping it well, man. You are currently locked into the one, the only Forex father, or as you know, with the FisMaz Show. You know, shout out to my man Fiso doing big things right now. Forex father, take it home.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the FisMaz Show. I've missed you all so much. Except DJ Naves, of course. You saw what he said. You heard what he said there in the opening, talking rubbish about Forex father, this and that. Hey man, I'm not a Forex father. I don't know anything about trading. I don't know Bitcoin. I don't know signals. So Naves, stop this thing and stop recruiting people to come and comment there on my social media. Please, man. Please. You know, so I've missed all of you except Naves. End of story. But because I love you guys, you know, I've decided to speak to my friends at Red Bull with regards to potentially, you know, hooking you guys up with some of that good stuff. This is that new summer edition. It is unbelievable. So yeah, make sure that you look out. I'm going to be posting a few questions after each show, and you know, you never know. Try your luck, and you could be, you know, flying in the clouds with something nice from Red Bull. But until then, let's focus on that hot stuff, because we've got a new feature on the show. It's called The Hot Stuff. That's going to be the hottest talking points and hottest news with regards to the world of sport. And yeah, we are really looking forward to adding a bit of spice. And it is proudly sponsored by no one. Cry with me. But nonetheless, it's 2021. We're hoping that there will be some blessings that will come our way as the FisMaz Show. And we are hopeful that someone will come on board and do the right thing. But until then, let's go get that hot stuff. And coming out of the hot stuff, we've got our special guest. Her name is Lizelle Lee, Proteas opening batsman, special talent, and a special human being. Right then, let's get things started with all that hot stuff. We're starting down under. They call it Australia in some parts, but the Australian Open is under threat because of COVID-19 that has been hovering around. There were numerous tests on 3 different charter flights, and as a result, 72 players have had to go into quarantine. Unfortunate, but that makes the Australian Open in doubt in some parts, but the organizers are definitely pushing for it to go ahead. Australia versus cricket. Let's stay down under, because India, they achieved the impossible. They won a series in Australia, an outstanding performance from Ajinkya Rahane and his men. I say Ajinkya Rahane, that's because Virat Kohli had obviously flown home after the first test match. India were bowled out for 36 in the second innings of that one. It was a disaster. It looked like it couldn't end any sooner. But India fought back. Rishabh Pant, Cheteshwar Pujara, Siraj, a number of players putting up their hands. Washington Sundar. I mean, I can go through a whole host of names, but outstanding. India, they achieved something special by winning the Gavaskar Border Trophy yet again. So really chuffed for them. Focusing on cricket, or rather staying on cricket, South Africa, the men's team are taking on Pakistan. They have landed in Pakistan. And for those who don't know, it's been over a decade, I think something around 13 years since South Africa last competed against Pakistan in Pakistan. So that's going to be a fascinating one to have a close look at. And of course, I did mention that Lizelle Lee is our special guest for today. So we won't touch on the ladies tour too much, but South Africa are playing Pakistan in terms of the women. That's coming up at the show. We'll dissect that quite nicely. Now, in terms of football, of course, Mesut Ozil, he's ended that nightmare stay at that very small club in North London called Arsenal. Wasted a lot of good years. He could have been at some proper team, man. But anyway, Mesut Ozil has left. He's gone to Fenerbahce. I guess it's not the happy ending that everyone would have wanted. When he came from Real Madrid, a lot was expected, but things didn't go according to plan with regards to that. In terms of Italian football, Mario Mandzukic, he signed for AC Milan for until the end of the season with an option of another year. So they've already got plenty of experience up front with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He's been Benjamin Button, rolling back the years. He's been outstanding. But of course, Mandzukic, he knows where the back of the net is. So he will add value, no doubt, to what is a young and pretty exciting Rossoneri team. Focusing on South African football, Thulani Serero, he's extended his stay at Al Jazeera Football Club. He's signed a new deal until 2023. And I decided to just to focus on him a little bit because he's a special talent, a talent that a lot of people forget just how good he is. And Serero, a very shy guy, but nonetheless, we were able to get this little comment from him.
Hi guys, I just want to announce that I've just extended my contract with the club, and just want to give thanks to Al Jazeera, to the board of directors, my teammates, the coaching staff, and the fans. And I'm very excited to stay till 2023. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good to hear from Thulani. Now, not the most talkative guy, but a very, very special footballer nonetheless. And speaking of special footballers, well, Percy Tau, he's got the internet in a bit of a buzz, especially in South Africa, because he's finally in the Premier League and he's put in some sparkling performances. He hasn't got his first goal yet, but we will be keeping a very close eye on how Percy Tau goes. So that is the hot stuff. It's time to chat to Lizelle Lee. Lizelle Lee, welcome to the FisMaz Show. I've been hoping to chat to you ladies with regards to the upcoming series. But first and foremost, how have you been keeping?
Oh yeah, very well, thanks, and thanks for having me. It's been a tough year for fans and for cricketers all over the world. But look, I'm just happy to be back, and hopefully this tour can be the start of something new for the team.
Before we even, I guess, get to this particular tour, I'm trying to think, I mean, what would you have been doing? You've been keeping yourself busy? I mean, it's been a really long time since South Africa were playing on the international scene.
Yeah, definitely. Look, to take you back to last year when lockdown actually started, we spent a few months with my parents because we got lockdown there. As soon as they opened up the borders for us to travel back home, we actually did. And I don't know, we try to do like things. Actually, fishing started to open, so we started fishing much more, played a little bit of golf. We started to train. We had a few camps each month. So we actually started to get back into things quite quickly after, well, not after lockdown, but during the times when we could. So it's actually been quite busy. And then we had the Big Bash as well, which was 2 months in Australia, which was actually quite fun. So it's actually been pretty busy if you have a look at the way things actually are.
Yeah, interesting. You know, I mean, we can talk about cricket all day long. I mean, everyone knows just how good a player you are. But you touched on something there that, you know, fans might not know. Fishing. All right, take me through that. Take me through, is it a new habit? Is it something you've always done? I mean, let's find out a little bit more about you.
No, look, it's something that my dad actually, when he grew up, they did a lot of fishing. So obviously he loves it a lot. And he taught us since a very young age for me and my brothers. So we actually did that a lot. And seeing that we couldn't really do anything else, me and Tanya decided just to do a little bit of fishing. And actually, to be honest with you, this last few weeks before we came on tour, that's actually when we started to do it more often and more regularly. So yeah, it's quite fun. We don't really catch a lot of fish. That's a tough part. That's something that's not in our control.
But what's the point?
Look, it's just fun actually sitting there. I know you're just enjoying nature. You know, it's quiet. Well, to be fair, our last fishing session didn't go that well. I think we were there for about an hour and it just started raining and like full on rain. We just sat there like this and it's cold. So, yeah, but look, it's good fun and it's just, you know, breaking away from cricket and just everything and just sitting there and it's just fun, you know, just actually doing nothing.
I don't know if you particular with a certain song. I'm going to try and hum it to you and you'll let me know if you know what song it is. It goes dun, 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 dun.
I know.
In order. You know, it has been a few months, but, you know, I know you are now a happily married lady. Take me through that.
Yeah, so we were actually supposed to we were supposed to get married, I think, on the 12th or 10th of April 2020, and well, because of COVID, that got cancelled. And it's actually tough trying to find a date that's actually there when I'm here and not on tour. So we tried to do it just before I went to Big Bash. We actually found a gap, and um, me me and Tanya actually had like a few, I'm not going to call it arguments, but chats about how many people we want there. And well, COVID actually worked in my favor because we weren't allowed to have too many people, so I was quite happy about that. And we actually ended up just having her parents with her brothers and sisters, and my parents and my brother, and then Tanya Hester and Gordon, which is actually very good friends of us, and my agent Armand and his wife. So that's actually, it was very, very small. I think we were like 16 people or 18 people, I'm not even sure. So yeah, look, it was great. We actually had it at our home, so we didn't really need a venue because there was not a lot of people involved. So it was quite nice. I never thought I would have been excited about it because I'm not a type of person that loves weddings or functions or everything. And while me and Tanya were getting dressed, I was like, you know what, I'm actually looking forward to this, you know. And I know it would sound weird to a lot of people because, like, how do you not look forward to your own wedding?
Yeah, that's
and if I think, if you know me, I don't like dressing up. You know, even if you have to CSA awards, I don't like dressing up for the awards. So it's just not me. I like being casual in my shorts and just, you know, being at the, just being on the golf course or along next to the dam catching fish. So yeah, but actually it was a fun day. It was honestly one of the best days of my life. So yeah, and I'm just happy it happened, and yeah, it was quite exciting.
now from us at the FisMaz Show. We just want to say congratulations to you and Tanya, and all the best for the future.
Thank you.
All right, well, back to cricket matters. We've now celebrated all the good stuff. Let's speak about the Big Bash. I mean, you've touched on the fact that you were out there. I know this year you didn't represent. You switched sides in Melbourne, and you went across to the Renegades. Do you have a bit of an Aussie accent?
Well, no, but it's actually quite funny because sometimes, you know, when you spend long periods of time speaking to people, you actually pick up some of their slang, if I can say it like that. So
Are you gonna share some with us?
Definitely not. No. No. So actually, when I speak to some of the girls, like from our teammates, and try and speak in English, I sometimes pick up some of the words in their accents. So it was actually quite funny. But no, my English is not one of my best. It's not one of my strong points, you know. Yeah, sometimes I speak English and I have no idea what I'm saying, or somebody would laugh at me because I'm not pronouncing my words right, or yeah, so it's actually quite funny. So I just try and speak slower and try to pronounce the words much better, but it doesn't always work.
Look, I think you're doing great. So you're right. You're right. But let's speak about that experience. I mean, a Big Bash League, what it's done for the women's game. You know how much it's grown. Let's touch on that and touch how special it is to be competing against the very best in the world in that particular tournament.
Look, I think the Big Bash has done things I can't even mention. It's done a lot of things for me personally. Every time I go there, I learn so much about my own game, and it actually improved my game to help me play better for my country. And I think if you speak to any of my teammates, like Marizan Kap, Minu de Prayer, I think we all would have the same answers. Like, we learn so much there, and it improves our game a lot. I mean, like you said, you're playing with some of the best players in the world. It's one of the strongest T20 competitions in the world. So yeah, it's amazing. And it was a bit different this year with COVID. So normally we would be in our own towns like Melbourne, Sydney, whatever. And now we were all together 2 months straight in one or two hotels. So it was different, but I have to give it to Cricket Australia. They did an amazing job with everything, and as far as I know, everything went on smoothly. Games were excellent. So yeah, it's good to be part of something that's actually growing and improving the women's game.
Yeah, no, a truly special tournament indeed, and we've seen how the Women's Big Bash and the Big Bash have grown in leaps and bounds. So kudos to Cricket Australia, as you did say. I'm just looking at, obviously now, what's on the horizon. Pakistan, in South Africa. I know you ladies have been working really hard on preparation, but I'm sure very different. But a player like yourself, a player who's been in a confined space, in terms of preparation with COVID-19, how has it been in terms of Cricket South Africa, and how has it been within the entire setup of the ladies team?
Look, it's very different actually. You would think it would be the same, but it's different because obviously now when you come in, you obviously would have a few tests done before you come into a camp or a tour, but then you can't really train together as a team yet or as a unit because you have to do a few tests before you can do it. And I think today was our first day training together as a team. It's just to minimize the if there is a case of somebody testing positive, it's not the whole group, it's only minimized to maybe 2 or 3, 4 players. So it's very different training in groups. So I think there's a lot of work that has to go into management side of making sure you're putting batters against bowlers in certain groups. So it's a lot tougher, and like you said, you're in a hub the whole time. We're not allowed to go outside. You're not allowed to go to the swimming pool and just relax. You're in your room or you're either at training. So I think it's times like this where you actually realize what we have. Even just going outside, it's a privilege. It's things that we haven't thought of previously now that we're like, wow, we should be thankful. So it's opened my eyes, and I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes to be thankful for what we have.
No, absolutely. I mean, I was stuck in the bubble with the men's team, and I wanted to, bash my head into the ground after a week or so, So I can fully understand, and I mean, kudos to all of you as professional athletes for being able to, I guess, mentally stick it out, and hopefully, the results on the park will also show that hard work that as a group you've all put in.
Yeah, definitely. Look, that's something that you touched on. We did put a lot of hard work in. Like I said, it's different. It's not easy going into a camp that we had actually last year, a camp every month. It's hard going in, knowing you're not allowed to do anything. So you just can go to a room, go to training. It takes a lot out of you mentally. And again, that's something we never really thought of. And now that we're actually in the situation, it's very different. And again, now we've been here. I don't even know how long we've been here. I don't know what day it is. I'm literally just taking it day by day. If they say, listen, we have training this afternoon, I'm just there.
I guess that probably helps because you're like, when you kind of keep days, you're thinking, okay, it's day 2. Sure, I still have another 30.
Exactly. Life doesn't stand still. So you still have things going on at home. And I would call a place and I'm like, why aren't they answering their phone? And I'm like, oh, it's Sunday. I don't think they're open. So it's different, but look, we're making the best of what we have. And again, we are privileged to do what we love. A lot of places, a lot of people can't do what they love. And I'm just so happy we can still play cricket. And even though it's not in front of crowds, at least SuperSport is broadcasting our games, which is amazing. And we're super thankful for that as well. So our parents can still watch the games and families back home.
Yeah, no, great stuff. Let's focus on Pakistan because it's a team that I guess the Momentum Proteas have played in the past. The last series was very close. I know the ODIs, I think, was 3-2. The T20s was 1-1. You beat them at the T20 World Cup in Australia. So it's never an easy game, but it's one at home. Do you think that as a group, the Momentum Proteas have enough?
Yeah, look, I think these days with women's cricket growing the way it has been, you can't underestimate any team. And with Pakistan having a new coach, which surprisingly has been my coach at the Melbourne Stars for 3 years. So I know a little bit of how he coaches. So we can't underestimate Pakistan at this moment. I think they're going to be a force to reckon with. And I honestly can't remember the last time I've played in Durban. So it's sort of... I'm not really sure about the conditions, and they need to conditions. And I feel like the weather is more to them. Like it's hot, it's humid, and I struggled with the warm-up game the other day. So look, it's going to be an interesting series, and I'm actually looking forward to it, and looking forward to see all the work that the team has put in to see if it pays off.
Look, you must make sure that you choose your words nicely, because I'm from Durban, you can't say anything bad about my town, please.
I would never say something bad about it, but I am going to say it's very, very hot and humid. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to sitting in my room, and actually when I walk out, I'm breaking a sweat already. That's not normal for me.
Look, when I go home in December, after 2 days, I'm struggling. I'm like, I think I need to go back to Johannesburg because the humidity, I'm struggling with it. So, look, I fully
I know.
understand. I grew up there. You know, often I spend a lot of nights sleeping on the tiles because the bed is just it's just too hot.
And the fan is not even working. I have my aircon in my room on 16 the whole time. So when I walk in, it feels like a fridge, and it's amazing, and I love it.
Do you wanna bring it to Joburg? I need some. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've touched on the Pakistan series. I mean, it is a while ago that you guys played against them. But just looking at, I guess, that psychological advantage, you know, there will still be a lot of members of the team that have that fresh in their minds, especially that T20 World Cup win. How much does that help go into a series at home, having not played for a while?
Look, that's actually quite tough because I would say, except for the players that wasn't the Big Bash, a lot of them hasn't played any competitive cricket in a very long time. I mean, the WSL did help, but that's T20. It's a different format from 50 overs, and we can actually we saw that on Monday when we played a 50-over game, the internal one against each other. It's two different formats. I mean, on the field for 3 hours at a time, so it's different. So it's going to be interesting to see how the girls go. And even though we did beat them at the World Cup, it's different, and it's been a year as well. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think all hard-fought series, the whole series. And then, as you know, we're sitting without Kapi, Danae van Niekerk and Chloe Tron. So that's a big blow to us, but it does give the youngsters a chance to put up their hands and say, listen, I can fill the space. And I'm actually quite excited to see some of the youngsters putting up their hands.
It's almost like you read my mind with regards to the next thing I wanted to ask you as we kind of sum up our chat. Obviously, with Danae not playing, Sunay Lee then steps in as a captain. How is she as a personality, for someone who doesn't know, for someone who perhaps hasn't followed the team extensively and as a new fan of the Momentum Proteas? What can they expect from her from a leadership style?
Look, everybody is different. Danae and Sunay is very different characters, and they approach things differently. But I think at the end, you have to know your players, and you have to know how you can get the best out of them. And I think both of them do it in their different ways, and they do it well. Like I said, it's a big blow for us losing Danae, not only as a player but as a captain as well. But it's good to have Sunay as well. I think she's a future star for South African. It looks like she's going to be the future captain as well. So it's good for her to get that experience under her belt, and she's done pretty well with the team when she did captain us. So I'm looking forward to see how she handles the pressure as well.
Look, you might get a knock on the door at some point, and Sunay might come and say, "Future star, but I'm already a star." Like, come on, man.
Well, yeah, she might give me some about that, but luckily we're good friends, so we will sort it out quickly.
No, fair enough. And I mean, just to kind of wrap it up, obviously, you know, Hilton Moring has been coaching your team for quite some time. A good friend of mine. He actually got the ball rolling nicely for me to be able to chat with you. You know, how is he as a coach? Make sure you say nice things. I'm briefing you early so that, you know, when he sees it, you know, I'm looking after you, I'm looking after him, everyone, you know.
Yeah, no, look, he has been a great coach for us for a while now. We actually joked about it the other day, and I actually laughed quite at this because he's been a coach longer than I've played for South Africa, and it just shows you the good job he's been doing with the team. I think we've always struggled in the past before me, and since he came on, we just went from strength to strength. So it shows the character that he has, and he knows his players very well. So he knows if I give him that look some days, he's like, no, I'm just going to leave you today. I'm not going to worry about you, you know. So that's something good to have in a coach, to know when to leave you alone, when to give you advice, and he does that. So yeah, we're very lucky to have him on board.
Nah, truly special man, Hilton Moring. I'm happy you said nice things, even though you kind of alluded to the fact that he's old. You said he's been coaching.
I never said he was old.
I'm not going to say anything, Lizelle. All I'll say
I can be in these good books now, so maybe I'll get some brownie points,
No, absolutely, absolutely. Look, I really appreciate your time. I wish the team all the best for the upcoming series against not only Pakistan, but also just going forward. Hopefully, plenty more cricket can be played. And yeah, looking forward to you scoring a quick 100 in the first game. I'm throwing it out there in the universe. Lizelle,
Oh, thanks.
107 of 52 balls. I'm throwing it out there. What do you think?
That's more T20. We should maybe have a chat before the T20s, and you can give me a little pep talk about that one.
Come on, but I'm backing you. I'm backing you. Come on.
Thank you. I'm taking the confidence from your side. I'm taking it, and hopefully I'm taking it into the game as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Lizelle Lee, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, man.
I'm gonna let you go now. I know you probably need to train or sleep or change the aircon or something, the bubble to keep yourself busy. So yeah, all the best going forward.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
All good.
Bye.
Yeah, absolutely. Great chatting to Lizelle Lee with regards to the Momentum Proteas, a team that brings a lot of pride to South Africa, a team that has performed on the international stage. And it's good to see the team back out there competing. And all the best to all the ladies, as well as Hilton Moring, the coach. Good man, a good friend of mine. And yeah, wishing them nothing but the best. So that's a wrap for the FisMaz Show. Looking forward to interacting with you, everyone going forward. Yeah, just a bit of homework for all of you. Don't forget, go hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts. Hit that follow button on our Instagram page, and make sure if you are a YouTube person, you can go across to YouTube and you can find FisMaz TV, and you can find everything with regards to the FisMaz Show on there. So yeah, looking forward to more interactions and more good times. Oh, I forgot one place, Facebook Watch. That is a place that we use quite often. So make sure that you do follow us on Facebook, like the page, do all the things that you need to do. I love you guys. Thank you for all the support. Shout out to Red Bull, shout out to Adidas, shout out to New Era Caps. Shout out to everyone who looks after me, SLK Sports Management. Really love all of you. And yeah, thank you for tuning in once again to the FisMaz Show.